Hi, my name's Lindsay and I work for a local organisation called Future Connect. Future Connect helps to create opportunities that lead to improving education, training and employment pathways for young people in Brimbank and Melton. In today's industry chat, we are joined by Brad, who is the head chef at Monkey Business in Dromana. Brad has years and years of experience in working across the hospitality industry. Welcome, Brad, and thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, Brad, let's start with your career journey. So how did you get to where you are today, and was it something that you always wanted to do?
Oh, that's a long chat. About 25 years in the industry, been chefing since about 17, 18. Who would I say? Always loved cooking as a kid.
Yep.
Very good chef. Very chef and a very good host. I think I like hosting just as much as I do cooking. Just sort of seeing people appreciate what you do is just a great feeling. I think at 16 I sort of dropped out of college, went straight into a kitchen that Dad's best friend opened. Started handing and sort of just went on from there. I think about 4 weeks into kitchen handing, a couple of the chefs said quit, and I got asked if I could cook, and I said yes.
Fantastic.
Got in there, and then that was it. I've been doing it since that day. So I never really thought of doing anything else.
Perfect. And hospitality takes you to a lot of places. So where have you been?
I take you a lot of places. Well, I've been all through Canberra. I've been to Mornington Peninsula, where I am still now. After years of working in one of the very good fine diners down here, I bought a restaurant with one of the waiters that I've worked there with, which is probably a lifelong dream that I had, to actually own a restaurant. I think that comes up in a later question as well. I always saw myself, even from 17, as owning my own place and sort of just hosting people and cooking good food and sort of getting better. So from Canberra to Mornington, I lived in Ireland for 2 years as well. Cooked over there for a couple of years. That was an eye-opener. I think the different sort of cuisines that you see as you're travelling through Australia, going over to England, going over to Ireland, where they're still very heavily French trained, which was really, really cool to see. It's something I haven't really done since tape. Which I actually really enjoyed as well.
And what is your favourite type of food to cook, cuisine? Spanish? I want to say that once I knew that I was interviewing Brad, I did have a bit of a look. So I know that you had the opportunity to work in Ireland, and I think that you brought back, maybe in Canberra it was a tapas restaurant? Yep, and so that's your favourite type of cuisine there?
By far, look, I like all cuisines. I think to be well-rounded, it's, I suppose, anything, whether it be cooking, carpentry, anything you do at all. Being well-rounded is probably the best thing you can put in your resume. Just know cuisines, know how to do a bit of Japanese, a bit of Mexican, sort of like I said, Spanish, Chinese, all that sort of stuff.
Beautiful.
And that over time as well. And you get that from reading books and just cooking with other people as well. I suppose you bump into people that, my favourite's Spanish, but I've worked with a lot of people that are favourites Southeast Asian or Chinese. And you just pick up things along the way. Is that what's called fusion? Fusion's a dirty word to most of it. Yeah, most definitely. I think Australia's so good multiculturally. I think especially Victoria, Melbourne. Yeah. The food down in Melbourne is sort of revered by the rest of the country. You have a lot of great sort of your Greek, your Italian. Your Chinatown's one of the best in Australia by far. Yeah. And it's just nice to see those different cuisines.
Now we're going to get into what does your average workday look like. So I want to do this in two parts. I want to know what your average workday looked like when you were young compared to when you were first starting out, compared to what your average workday looks like these days as a head chef. So we'll start when you were young.
Okay, when I was young, average workday involved getting into work on time, 15 minutes early, no excuses, fresh apron, fresh chef jacket, being very presentable. You'd start off with basic preparation, I suppose, washing dishes that the other chefs have created for you. Basic preparation, making sure, you know, it depends on how good you were as well. I think you sort of got given, you sort of get given the responsibility that they can see that you can handle. So
Yep.
I suppose after a while it stops being just dishes and just doing basic preparation. You sort of move on to you know, basic cold entrees, maybe desserts as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it also depends on what sort of kitchen you work in. You know, there's privately owned kitchen. There's also big hotel kitchens which run on brigades.
Yeah.
Brigade kitchen has also obviously got a lot more people working. So therefore, you probably only have 2 or 3 little jobs that you are actually doing.
Yeah.
So down into, you know, sort of privately owned places, you'll find yourself probably doing a lot more work, but I think it's a lot more satisfying. I found hotels that, for me, some people love hotels, some people don't. But for myself, I found hotels a little bit boring because you only sort of got 1 or 2 little jobs that you just did, and that was you. And sort of when you go to a privately owned place, you sort of got a little bit more responsibility and a lot bigger bulk of work. So, next part.
Now, what does a day over the weekend look? Your first?
17. Now at 43, you know, just living a lifelong dream of actually owning a restaurant, which I always wanted to do. It's a bit more involved. And we've got a very small kitchen here as well. So it's just myself and Keely, who is just an amazing, chef. So we'll get to work between 7:30 or 9:30, depending on the day of the week. Weekends, obviously, a lot earlier. We use a lot of local suppliers, so there's a lot of driving around, sort of going to the local butcher, the local produce people, place called Torello's, and you know we sort of go there and sort of handpick what we want from them. So you know what, that might be an extra hour on the start of your morning, and then sort of and then you get into work and you start looking at the prep that you've written from the night before of what you want that day. It's a big juggle to note every day of the week. So it's a really hard thing because customers are fickle and things always change. But you sort of try and, I don't remember the old stereos that had the like little equalisers on them.
Yeah.
You do that with your dishes and whatever food you do. You're constantly trying to just sort of trim and tune and get everything not too much but not too little. That's the start of the day. Then you sort of get into your service. So once service hits, it's sort of all hands on deck, and you're just and that's the thing, you just don't know what's going to happen. So gluten-free people, you look at vegetarians, they'll come in. So you sort of chop and change all the time.
Yeah, just got to be ready for everything or anything and everything.
And then you know you might look at finishing at 10:30, 11:30. Who knows? Like I said, every given day can be completely different. So after work, you go home and you do the ordering for about an hour. So it's
a big day, isn't it?
Especially Saturday when you're going from sort of 7:30 till 11 o'clock at night. It's a big shift, but you only get in what you put out. And I really love my job. I really love cooking. So I wouldn't put it.
And that, I think, takes me to my next question. Working in hospitality, there is no standard 9 to 5. You've got to be ready to be up at 4 o'clock, ready to be on site for 5 if that's what it takes. And then back again at 5 o'clock at night to work through till 10 p.m. And that's the kind of lifestyle that you've got to become accustomed to and expect if you're going to work in that hospitality industry.
Totally. You wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it for 25 years if you didn't love it. I don't think you wouldn't do it for very long if you didn't love it. But I suppose it's to me it's satisfying, and I think to a lot of people in the industry with me, it is as well. Our floor staff and our kitchen staff all happy. I think it's changed a lot over the years. Where it used to be a lot of yelling and screaming, and they're sort of like a fight. But it's sort of starting to change now. We're coming to a new age of, you know, if you don't want to be there, you just go. I think, otherwise, you wouldn't put up with the hours. You wouldn't put up with not seeing your family on the weekend or missing out on 21st, missing out on 18th birthdays. It's just, but that's just what it is.
So I've heard a lot about different skills that you would need to work in the hospitality industry. Now, I know that there's probably official qualifications that you require. So what sort of things would people need to have to start out in hospitality?
Well, as far as qualifications, obviously, you know, it's still I think it's still a 3-year apprenticeship. Used to be 4 up until about 1999. Now it's over in about 3 years. I think having some sense of teamwork is paramount. I find a lot of people that played sports and were very good at sport actually really well into kitchens and floor because they know what it's like to play with the other kids. You really need that teamwork. Problem solving, like I said, you know, it can change every given second in here. You know, once you might have a table of 6 turn up out of the blue and they go, oh, we're 6 doesn't work for 3. And you go, well, it's nice to know in advance, but at the same time, you're not going to lose that table of 6. You have to change and adapt to your surroundings. So I suppose
like multitasking,
liaising with staff and suppliers as well is massive. You know, if you can't get along with people that you're going to work, you know, 60, 70 hours a week with, well, some places, if you can't get along with those people, you know, it's just not going to happen. It's such a high stress and highly emotive sort of job. That, you know, really need to get along with other people. And liaising with suppliers, like I talked about before. Like going to pick them up in the morning and just asking them for their best, and you know, if you're courteous and just treat them the way they should be treated, they will look after you to the nth degree. But it's and customers as well. So we walk out on the floor a lot here as chefs because I really enjoy it, and just there's a lot of questions on a lot of different things that you go through on a day-to-day basis.
So I'm thinking for a young person, they'd want to be developing their problem-solving skills, their multitasking, as you said, teamwork, communicating with others appropriately. So knowing how to speak to your teammate, knowing how to speak to your manager, customers, and as you said, the suppliers, and being able to build those relationships. I think that all sounds...
But I think that's not just, obviously that's not just in hospitality. Obviously, I think every job you're going to be good at, regardless. Exactly.
And what sort of advice do you have for a young person who is thinking about taking their first steps into a career in hospitality?
Do it. Get in there. Give it a go. I think you will find whether you like it or not in the first couple of hours. If you don't give it a go, you don't know. I think the first couple of hours, the first couple of days, you'll really find out what it's about. And like I said, I think passion and just being really enjoying your work. And like I said, I can't think of doing anything else.
Excellent.
I feel sorry for people that have looked for other jobs their whole lives and just don't know what they're going to find. So
Yeah.
give it a go. And,
Yeah, finding your passion is very important because we work for a very long time.
I know.
So Brad, tell me again, what is the name of your restaurant?
So we're Monkey Business in Dramana.
And do you want to flick it over? Do you want to flick your phone over and show us what you're looking at?
Okay. Yep.
Let's have a look at what you get to see when you come to Monkey Business.
Maybe I'll try and, I don't know if you can see.
Oh, look at that. So I bet that makes working long hours much easier, Brad.
Well, look, it's the best view I've ever had in the place. So down the coffee machine.
Ah, beautiful.
Bar.
Cool.
Bench.
Very cool.
The rest of the restaurant. There's Keely in the background there.
Hey.
Yeah, that's an example of what you want to be, what these kids want to be when they go. He's phenomenal. He's been here for 3 years, and he's just
Fantastic. Well, that's been so cool, Brad. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat to us today and let us know a little bit about what it's like working in the hospitality industry. Yeah, we're very grateful for you taking the time today.
Absolute pleasure. I hope I answered everything.
Yeah, you sure did. Thank you so much. Bye.